All right, let's start with constructivism. In simple terms, this is a way of thinking about how people actually learn. The big idea here is that knowledge isn't just poured into a learner's head like water into a glass. Instead, each person builds their own understanding from the inside out. Think about it this way. When you learn something new, your brain connects it to things you already know, to experiences you've had, and to how you make sense of it through reflection. So learning is active, personal, and shaped by the learner themselves. So what does this actually mean? Let's break it down. First, children are not empty containers waiting to be filled. They're active builders. Every time they interact with the world, they're creating little mental frameworks, we call these schemas, that help them organize what they know. Second, knowledge can never be a perfect copy of the world out there. It's always shaped by the person doing the learning. And third, learning is also social. We don't just figure things out alone. We learn by talking with parents, teachers, classmates, and anyone who knows a little more than we do. That gentle stretch from what you can do alone to what you can do with help is where real growth happens. So the goal isn't memorizing facts. It's helping students become independent thinkers who can create meaning for themselves. Let's look at what constructivism actually believes about learning, and I'll walk you through the 4 key ideas here. First, knowledge is built, not given. You can't just hand understanding to someone. They have to construct it themselves. Second, prior knowledge really matters. The most important thing influencing what a student learns today is what they already know. So as teachers, we always need to connect new ideas to something familiar. Third, mistakes are not a bad thing. They actually drive growth. When a learner bumps into something that doesn't fit their current understanding, that little moment of confusion is exactly where deep learning starts. And fourth, context shapes understanding. Learning sticks better when it happens in a real, meaningful situation rather than as abstract information disconnected from the world. Now let's walk through how learning actually happens, step by step. It starts with experience. The learner runs into a real problem or activity that sparks their curiosity and pulls up what they already know. Then comes interaction, talking with classmates, sharing ideas, and noticing that other people see things differently. That's where productive disagreement happens. Next is connection. The learner ties new ideas to old ones, updating their mental map. Sometimes they just add to it. Sometimes they have to rebuild parts of it. After that comes reflection, which is honestly the step we skip the most. This is where the learner pauses, thinks about their own thinking, and locks in what they've learned. And finally, we arrive at new understanding, a richer mental model ready to be tested again in the next situation. And the key thing is, this cycle never really ends. Every new experience starts it all over again. So how do we actually bring constructivism into the classroom? Let's go through a few practical moves. First, always start by activating prior knowledge. Before introducing anything new, ask students what they already know or think about the topic. This gives you a starting point and helps them connect new ideas to old ones. Second, design lessons for discovery. Instead of telling students the answer, set up tasks where they can observe, spot patterns, and figure things out for themselves. Third, use collaborative discussion. When students talk to each other, they hear different perspectives, and that healthy disagreement pushes their thinking forward. Fourth, scaffold productively. This means giving just enough support to help students stretch beyond what they could do alone. Not so much that you take the challenge away, and not so little that they feel lost. And finally, build in reflection at the end of every lesson. Exit tickets, short journal entries, or a quick discussion question all work well. Reflection is what turns an activity into real learning. So let's bring it all together. The big takeaway from constructivism is that every learner walks into the classroom with their own story, their own background, experiences, and ways of seeing the world. Real learning doesn't happen just because we hand information over. It happens when students actively explore ideas, ask questions, connect new things to what they already know, and reflect on what it all means. When we take this seriously, a lot of things change. The teacher stops being just a source of facts and becomes more of a guide. The curriculum is built around inquiry, not memorization. Assessment focuses on understanding, not recall. and the classroom itself becomes a place where students are doing the thinking, not just receiving it. That's the heart of constructivism, learning that's truly the student's own. To wrap things up, here are the key sources that shaped everything we've talked about today. If any topic sparked your interest, going back to the original works is one of the best ways to deepen your understanding. Reading the thinkers in their own words gives you a much richer feel for the ideas than any summary ever could. And for those preparing for the LET, take note, some of these names show up directly in professional education questions, so it's well worth knowing who said what, and the main idea each one is remembered for.